know. If you would prefer to travel or stay close to home, you want to work only Sundays, then just show Sundays in your zero web. If you only want to work 2 days a month, show those days on your zero web. That's it. But if you have any special circumstances, or you can only work, you can't work a full day, you can work 3 on 1 off, 3 on 1 off, so you get a break, please let me know. Because most assignments are full day, and we're going to talk about that. We prefer, or we give preference to full day availability, okay? And full day availability is between 7 and 10 matches in a row. But if you work the Badger Region events, I give you a break unless you want to work 12 in a row. And you have Shane Peterson once, maybe twice, yeah, you know what he's doing. Or Kyle Kravitz, but he doesn't do it by choice, I just make him do it. So you'll get a break, we build in breaks. I also do a lot of the grids for the one-day assignments, so I try to stagger you guys appropriately so you're not stuck on one court for 10 in a row. Okay? But like I said, for even the newbies, if you're getting an assignment, it's a full day assignment, which is normally 8 to 5. Wait, did I just talk about everything? Yeah. Great. All right. Money. All right. So if you're new, 27 to match. Once you become provisional or a provisional or above, it's 32. Now this rate is for single day events, not Badger marquee events. Reps, if you feel strongly about the daily rate once you're certified, please send your feelings to Patty about a request for some kind of increase for the next fiscal year, or something we can address at a board meeting. Yes?
So, again, like Sarah said, so these are the single day rates. When making changes to the single day rates, the Badger Region Board has to be very careful because those are often smaller events, club events. They're not running it to make a profit, right? They're running it to break even and give opportunities. So we have to balance valuing you guys, your time, your skill, with the money that these clubs may not be making it. So it's a very big decision to raise the one-day events. We tell people, you can always raise it to what you want. This is the baseline. Right. So you can raise it, you can give food, you can give hotels, you can do whatever. And so we would love feedback from Patty on this, and if everybody feels it needs to be raised, then we should probably raise it a few dollars. But just to and then for Badger Region events, we set our own rates that is higher than this. But I just want everybody to know that for the single day events, it's a very deep discussion at the board level, because when we raise it, then it's coming out of those clubs, and then the fees raised to the families, things like that. We at Badger Region, when we do it, we can absorb it better because we have a higher density of people and people coming to our events. The smaller events are very tight budget-wise sometimes. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Well, and we always like to make sure it's not that these single day events can't, they just need proper planning, right? For registration fees, things like that, they may have to adjust to allow for a higher rate. So for Badger Region hosted, Dale, Champs qualifier, BRPL, Jams and Nationals are 40 a match. Provisionals 33, regionals are 36. The Dale qualifier champs also get per diem. Half day, if you work a half day, you get $15. If you work a full day, you get $25 a day. That's in place of meal cards. However, if you've been to champs, I fill the ref room with food illegally. So, does anyone work for the bear? Okay. And we also give apparel, and we do a lot of mentoring. It's actually I really enjoy champs and what we've been able to provide to our officials at our big events. Travel, okay, so we don't do mileage. However, this can be handled on individual tax returns. You want to see Patrick? Where's Patrick?
He's not here. Okay, so I am not an accountant. This should not be taken as financial advice. However, as independent contractors, you are your own bosses, and so you have to do a special thing, a special form for your tax return. Thank you. I'm on medicine. And so you can claim, come in here where I need to, but you can claim one-to-one on mileage. And so if you put out, say, hey, I drove 100 miles, use the federal rate, you can claim that as a deduction on your personal income taxes.
As well as any food
Any
But you
food, any
guys
apparel,
purchase-
anything that you purchase in order to rep or in the process of
And
repping.
Any refereeing expenses?
Yep, refereeing expenses, all of that type of stuff,
That
correct.
can be deducted.
Yes, so
Uniforms.
uniform, equipment, things like that can be taken, so keep track of all of that. I know, I think it was last year, was it David who had something? Where's David?
Who's David?
Right, I was looking right at you. Was it you that had something that kept track of all of the?
Stride. If you
Stride.
use the app Stride, the Stride will give you the expenses, open up for the mileage, your supplies, the uniforms, the fees for professional development. Francisco was going to tell me that free.
There you go. So Stride, STRIDE, right? Okay.
Would anyone be interested in a Zoom meeting with reps to discuss how to deduct? If you're interested, please
We would
email
hire
me.
subject matter
We
experts.
would, we would hire someone to do it and do just a Zoom for everyone to understand what they
Okay.
can deduct.
I'm seeing that, I'm seeing that. Okay, cool, I will write that down. And so,
Maybe you can run that meeting.
No, you're doing it.
David's gonna run it, Francis gonna follow it.
Everybody will join me.
Yeah, okay, so hotels, Doug, I keep using Doug as an example. If I ask you to travel a little bit farther at your range or you're willing to, I say 60 miles, but sometimes I'm desperate and I need help. It all depends. But if you're working and you need a lodging, what ends up happening is I will reimburse you, based on, when you would, if you get a pre-approved hotel through me, then you just submit your receipt and a reimbursement form to me, and then I submit that for reimbursement.
She's really good about that, by the way.
Thanks, Doug. Well, you've traveled so much for me, and I appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Mentoring. Okay, I'm gonna embarrass someone. All right, so, just before we talk about mentoring really quick, I'd like to call out two officials that, we try to recognize officials each year that have worked every single Badger Region event. He knows I'm talking about him. And last year, we had two officials that worked every Badger Region marquee event. And so I said I was gonna impose, but I got them Yeti Badger water bottles instead, so I would like Rick Jones to come up here. And I would like, and it's also Gary Medina who has a fever, so I'm going to give these two to him. So I really appreciate Rick's dedication to Badger and his ability to not only what happened?
Gary doesn't have a fever, he's not out of bed yet.
Oh my God.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you.
I only did marquee events, other signers won't have me.
Because you get water bottles.
Yeah, we're good.
There we go.
Someone's got it. Thanks, Tony.
Yep. Thank you, Tom.
All right, mentoring. Do you want to talk about our budget increase?
Yeah, so, Sarah went over budget last year, which is fine, because that's
Let's
good.
go over that.
So, with Badger Region Volleyball being a nonprofit, our goal is to put as much money as we can possibly back into the sport. And so we really value education, training, things like that. And so Sarah and I talked, and the mentoring budget did increase again this year to $15,000. So Sarah has $15,000 to train all of the new officials and also experienced officials who want additional training. I am a believer in lifelong learning and education. I'm currently back in school right now. And so I believe anybody who wants to get trained should be able to do that. And so the board is also committed to that. And so I challenge Sarah to go over budget again this year. And so there will be, and she will, there will be a lot of opportunities, not just R1, but R2 as well. And so there's going to be a slide coming up about not just getting the mentoring, but how do you receive the feedback? Because I think that's part of it too, right? I can tell Sarah something, but if she doesn't listen to me, that to me isn't a good thing. So we want to train you guys not just on how to do things better, but also to how to receive that and put it into action, because we feel that's important as well.
That's, I'm very, that one of my goals in this job, I can't remember when I was doing it, is to get the mentoring. Mentoring is not just people there with a clipboard writing notes about what you're doing wrong. It's about that they are also working with you as an R1, R2. I think it is so important to not just be watched by a mentor, but actually work with those high level. We are incredibly lucky in our region. We have some of the highest level refs in the country that are willing to give back and mentor. Some are better mentoring higher level refs that want to go higher. We have a lot that are very interested. Alex Strykowski, if you guys know him, he is very interested in entry level ref mentoring. He's very passionate about it. He is going to be doing more mentoring with the new refs this year. Francisco, we have Connor, Shane, Mark, Jim, Jody, Eileen, John. We have so many great high-level refs in this room right now that have given back to a lot of our new and experienced officials. So getting this increase in budget, I laugh about going over budget, but I go over budget because coaches come to me and tell me how amazing our refs are. I'm a ref chair for the region, so all the other ref chairs are jealous of our budget. They see how well regarded our Badger region refs are when they work national events. And that all starts here with you guys mentoring each other. So I was very excited to hear that the board did approve that increase. Yay.
Okay, so most of you have seen stuff about talent ID card. So that actually came up during a delirious conversation last year on like the third meeting of the chance. When we were like, okay, and so Sarah was talking with the mentors, and Craig Madsen, who isn't here but is a high level
But
official.
tell them what I said to you when you brought it up initially. I just looked at her.
Yeah, she's like, I can't even
I
process
couldn't
it.
process, but
So the talent ID card is basically to help the mentors know your faces. So you send a picture with it so that we can look and be like, okay, that's what you look like. But then also understand your goals. Maybe you are a national official who just wants to be like, hey, am I still doing everything right? Or maybe you're a provisional who just wants to get to regional. Great. If you're a provisional who wants to ref in the Olympics, we want to know that because we want to know what your path is. And so this is where the talent ID card comes from. And Craig works in the corporate world, and they do this through his company. And so we talked about that just as a way to help connect the mentors with the mentees and understand your goals, what you want, things like that. And then also just to help connect the rest community.
well, and with mentoring that's happened in the past, it's all been a blanket mentoring. But I want to know if, let's say Izzy, sorry, I'm just using an example. If Izzy wants to go for mentoring, which she does, I know her goals, I know what she wants to do. She's gonna get a different type of mentoring and mentor assigned to her than maybe someone who's a brand new official who's just comfortable working local events. Does that make sense? So now we can actually adjust the level of mentoring that we offer you guys based on the talent ID and the info that you guys are putting in there and what you want to work on. Okay? It helps the mentors a lot.
Will mentoring be done on headsets, off, or both?
Yes, both. We don't start now. Our reasoning for headsets I think it's a good and a bad thing. I love headsets, love them. However, if they're a new official, we don't do those because we want them to think on their own. We want them to we don't want, a lot of people use headsets sometimes. I've seen mentoring not with us as a crutch using those headsets. I want to get them started without before we start adding them. Most of the headsets that we're going to be using mostly for regional going to JN or JN going to national, because those are a priority for your advancement. If you're a high-level provisional going for regional and then potentially JN, we may include that once we get the mentoring evaluation of what you can do without them. Make sense? Cool. Yes. Okay, John, can you come up here? Everyone, this is John. So he doesn't know if he was supposed to talk about this, but I'm just calling him out, much I'll do with that with Jim a little bit too. So John is someone I threw a lot of things on and talked to. Teague as well, and everyone saw Teague when he came in, he had to leave for our assignment. And it's part of our officials committee. One is understanding what mentoring is, how to take feedback. And a lot, I want John to kind of explain, are you good with this? Okay. Well, too bad, man. You're good. Is how can people adjust and how can they take feedback in a positive way? You know, sometimes it's a lot of information, they suck, if that the mentor's giving them too much information. How can you guide some of these reps and how to accept the mentoring feedback?
So I think part of being a good mentor is adjusting to what the person needs. You know, you watch a person do a match, you don't come with 12 legal pad sheets full of information to give them afterwards. You pick a few key bullet points, you give them that, explain those things, and then watch the next match. Do we make the adjustments? And then we refocus from there. I've had people that, you know, are very, very accepting and just a sponge and soak things in. And you get to the next match and we said, well, let's work on getting our out signal more here versus here or here. And for 9 of the 10 things, they're here, and then there's one that's here and they can't go. Okay,
That's great.
that's great. We made the adjustment, we fixed it, when we didn't do it, we caught it ourselves, and we're good. And then once in a while you get people who, you know, all I wanna do are these 13 lower level matches, and they don't wanna hear anything from anybody. Okay, that's fine, but we still need to look professional. Badger Region has a good bunch of officials, we look good on the stand, and no matter where we go in the country, people know they got a well-trained official. Why is mentoring important to me? I love to do this because, well, this is season number 37 for me.
Yes.
And I have had a ton of great officials that have given me so much. And I like to give that back to everybody else. That's the reason I do this, is so many people have helped me, so if I can help some people do some things to get where they wanna go. Don't think that just because I'm not on the mentor list for today that I can't get help. If you see one of us walking through the Baird Center there and you're not on the list for mentoring, don't be afraid to stop us and ask the question, hey, I had this happen, what could I have done there? We are all happy to help you out with that. That is why we are there, is to help things. If I'm walking through and I see a problem with a coach or something, or parents, we'll stop and help, right, Izzy? So, Izzy was, what,
Go ahead, you go ahead.
like 16 at the time, probably?
Yeah, right on high school.
And she was on the court behind me and had a couple of parents that were getting unruly. I turned around and we fixed things, and it made it easier for her in the match. And that's why some of us with experience are out there, is to do those sort of things. Never be afraid to ask. Take what we got, adapt it to you. There's some standards that we have as far as how we want our mechanics to look, so you can't make that your own, but have fun with it and take in the knowledge.
Well, and that's why you'll know John Teague, a bunch of refs that are also our lead refs during our big events. They not only are leads, they also mentor while they're leads. So even if you didn't sign up for it, and they come up and give you a simple correction while there's a timeout, don't think you're doing anything wrong. They're there to share their knowledge. It's all positive. We don't write notes about you. We truly, they're there to help you. And getting game day, like feedback is so helpful. And then you're just trying to adapt. You don't need to change it and figure it all out right away. But a lot of our leads are such good mentors that they will spot it out and just give you some simple, or a thumbs up, hey, that was a great call.
One other last thing is, if you've got somebody mentoring you there, somebody on the court, be yourself. Do what you're gonna do. We can't fix or change if you're not doing what you're doing naturally. We want to see you being you, and then we'll talk, and then we'll go from there. But if you're all nervous, that doesn't help. I mean, we're not there to tear anybody a new one. We're there to help and try and make things go easier for you. The more you can adapt and go with some of the people that work at the high levels, the easier things go with coaches. We've had a couple matches that I've just worked on with Jim here recently. Kayla was here, Connor's here. We had a great match together. Why did it go well? We didn't have any problems with coaches, we didn't have any problem with anybody, because everybody did a fantastic job at what they were doing because of good training, and it makes things go so smooth, and when you walk away, you have this great feeling.
Right, and that's why, like, at our events, if you see John or me, was it Kevin? Well, sometimes we tease when I'm standing on court, people think they're in trouble. They're not. That's not it. What we either hear some parents being kind of naughty. We see some coaches getting feisty. That's why I put on like 30,000 steps at our events with John and T, sometimes Craig and Felix, because we can kind of feel it out. And we're just standing there, and sometimes just standing there diffuses the situation. And during the timeout, we may come up to you and say, hey, we've got your back, or hey, there's a couple unruly parents, I'm just gonna stand here for a while just to let you guys know. Or we're just there to maybe take our own feedback on how great you're doing, right? And that helps me as an assigner to know what I can assign you. And feedback from John too.
Sometimes it's walking by, see something, certain situation handled in a great way, and we'll stay there just to get a break, a timeout or something, come up and say, that was awesome.
And he tells me about it right away, which is so great, because then that sometimes game day decisions with switching with assigning in courts, so I appreciate John's feedback on that. Okay, let's talk about rules. Jim, you wanna do the first two?
Yeah.
Look at how I just called on. This is Jim.
I'll wait on it.
So, I'm sorry, this is Jim Momsen, he was going to introduce him.
Jim Monson has been the Badger Region president and is a longtime official and knows all of the things.
There, see?
Those all things.
All of the things.
And I was a signer for a while, and referee chair, and all that kind of stuff. And I only was able to do that through the mentoring of others, so it's my turn to continue to give back. So, reminder, serving for 14 and under. We have, server tosses the ball and catches it, they're entitled to a reserve on every point.
Remember when 14 and unders, if they toss it and hit their body, they couldn't do it? Just a reminder that they can.
Yep. All right.
It's a really great reminder.
So I know in high school it's one toss per term of service. We do it for under that age group. All right. Reserve following situation: swings and misses. If they don't touch the ball on the serve attempt, they get a reserve. Okay. Catches bad toss ball, it's a drop without swinging, ball touches the server, reserve, and when,
Perfect.
that covered all of that. Protests are not a bad thing, because now you get. Warning.
What do you mean?
Oh!
There's a protest over here. Protest. Judgment decisions are not subject to a protest. Okay? If the coach is questioning, if it's a judgment decision, coach, in our judgment, this is what happened and this is what the result is. I want to protest. I'm sorry you cannot protest judgment decisions. So use that phrase in our judgment, and that'll shut off any protest attempt. All right? If you still get pressed for that, take the protest, get the protest committee over there. They'll come in, assess the situation, and make a decision. Okay? A protest related to a judgment decision may result in a penalty. So you can tell them that. Red card being assessed, and a red card is a point to the other team. So it comes with some consequences. The referee may not assess the red card for protesting. Only the protest committee can do that. All right? And if coach or captain, if you deny the protest and inform the coach that it is a judgment call, coach, captain insists on protesting, first referee reminds them You can't get a penalty if it's deemed that it is not a protestable situation. All right, so you're trying to prevent things.
It's like the art of officiating, yeah? So if you have a good relationship with your coaches, and if they're insistent on it, rather than arguing, just let them, you gave them a warning, move on, get the protest committee and deal with it.
Yep.
But then it's up to the protest committee on whether or not that red card is issued or not.
Yeah, we don't make that decision. You know, I do a lot of NCAA, most of the D1 schools now have challenge reviews, so it's kind of like a challenge, situation. You know, some stuff is challengeable, some is not. Well, some stuff is protestable, some is not. It's the application of the rule that is protestable. All right, and if you're working at 14s and under, I mean, technically by the rule book, the only person that can initiate a protest is the captain, but we allow 14s and under coaches to assume that role, so you can accept a protest from a coach if it's a 14s and under match.
How quick do you get that feedback?
I'm sorry?
How quick do you get the feedback by the end of the set? Do you?
Right away before the next point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly,
You wait
that
then?
way.
Yeah.
You wait?
Yep.
Okay.
So, and the proper protocol for that, send one of the work crew over to the championship desk. They will organize a protest committee, usually a referee that's off, and they'll bring 2 or 3 people over. We'll ask what the protest is about, and then we'll talk to the parties that are in the know about what the situation was, and we as a committee will make a decision on whether the protest is accepted or not. All right? I mean, my favorite one was being part of the protest committee. I think you were part of it. And we go over to the coach, you know, we say, first referee, what's the nature of the protest? Who's protesting? Boom. Go over to the coach, ask the coach what's going on. He says, well, the score table won't allow our libero to serve. And it's like, why? Well, they say she's already served in one position in the rotation. Okay, so we go over, we talk to the scorer, and how do you know that the libero has already served? Well, I've got triangles around all the points you scored, and a triangle around the position of rotation. And we talk to the libero tracker, triangle around the position of rotation. And I asked the scorer, how did you know to do this? My coach helped me. She's standing behind the score table. We talk, we go over to the coach and say, protest denied, your libero has already served according to the score sheet and the libero tracker, protest denied. And by the way, she scored 8 points on serve. But she served in the wrong position. What can I do? And I knew the coach pretty well, and I said, you're the coach, you figure it out.
Yeah. That's kind of a new problem.
But he also holds the record for the earliest protest ever. He protested the warm-up protocol before the first match of the weekend. So,
Thank you, Jen.
yeah.
Thank you. Question?
My favorite protest was when we went over and Patty Rolfe was the coach.
Yeah.
That was fun. For those of you who don't know, Patty Rolfe has represented the Olympics before. She's also been a coach as well. Okay, so filming and recording matches. This is wrong.
Yeah.
Don't look at this.
It's my fault.
It's okay. It's a great teaching tool. It says here they're not permitted to wear microphones to record audio during matches, including the official time warm-ups. That is incorrect. They can. People on the court cannot. But coaches and bench personnel are now allowed to wear microphones, and they are allowed to, yes they are.
Yep.
Yes they are. USA Volleyball, they can. There has been a huge, it's in the rule book, there's been a huge thing, just at the leadership level of this. It's still going on, but currently as the rule states now, they are allowed to wear audio equipment, and they can post to social media, and there's rules that are along with it, it is in the rule book. Please, we will have a point of emphasis on that when it comes out, just to clear things up. But they can do that because people are starting to monetize their social media, and that's been a thing. But they're not allowed to disparage anybody, they're not allowed to attack anybody, they're not allowed to do that. There are provisions within this rule that if they do that, then it can be escalated. And so I just wanted to point that out, that people are allowed to